Hi, I'm Jacqueline of Vero, and we go around the world seeking small production craft wines. And in this video, we're going to have a look at the bubbly and refreshing Prosecco. So nothing captures the Italian lifestyle like a refreshing glass of Prosecco for celebrating the everyday La Dolce Vita, especially when it's paired with an antipasti, aperitivo, or a plate of pasta. Nothing has captured the world's wine drinking fascination quite like this delicious sparkling wine from the cool, rolling green hills of northeast Italy, just an hour's drive north of the famous Venice. Prosecco is enormously popular worldwide, with a demand that continues to climb and an annual production of about 500 million bottles that has shown no signs of slowing down. The production area of Prosecco DOC spans an area of nearly 70,000 acres over 9 provinces and 2 regions, those of Veneto and Friuli Venezia Giulia. Prosecco requires a minimum of 85% of the indigenous, high-acidity, semi-aromatic Glera grape that was formerly known as Prosecco. Additional grapes are allowed, like the local Pereira, Bianchetta, and Verdiso, but many high-quality producers opt for using just 100% Glera and keeping it simple. Prosecco is, of course, a sparkling wine. For producing the enticing bubbles that Prosecco is famous for, a secondary fermentation occurs in pressurized tanks using the Martinotti or Charmat method. This allows for minimal contact with the lees, and the wine is bottled very early to maintain as much of the fresh profile as possible. Prosecco's slow fermentation at a low temperature produces a fine and persistent perlage, or bubbles, that further enhance the fresh fruit and floral characteristic in the wine. The resulting sparkling wine has a nice bouquet with a crisp yet balanced acidity, and they have soft yet lively bubbles that carry notes of honeysuckle, white peach, apple, and pear. But it's important to note that not all Proseccos are created equal. In fact, the taste and character of a Prosecco can vary greatly depending on several factors, including winemaking style and the area where it's produced. First of all, geography matters. Though as we saw, Prosecco can be made in a very large area across many different provinces and 2 regions, the wines with the most distinctive characteristics are sourced from the smaller original production area in the province of Treviso, in the hilly northern portion around the towns of Valdobbiadene and Conegliano. Those names are a bit of a mouthful, but they are worth learning if you love Prosecco. The hills, running west-east from Valdobbiadene to Conegliano, create a series of ridges with southern exposed slopes. Here, the vines are planted at an altitude of 1,600 feet in some places, and with slopes that can reach almost 70% grade, with hand harvesting being the norm in this area. So, it's important to know that there are also many styles of Prosecco. The most popular Proseccos are made in the fully sparkling or spumante style, but there are also semi-sparkling, Frizzante styles, and even some tranquillo or still wine versions. There are also several levels of sweetness or residual sugar content that a Prosecco can legally have. Some examples are the extra Brut style, which is a dry wine that consists of very little, if no, residual sugar. And it is pretty rare to see this one around. Another style of Prosecco is Brut, where more Proseccos are being produced in this also dry style, which was an evolution from the also popular and more traditional extra dry style, which is slightly sweeter than Brut. Strangely, and a little counterintuitive maybe, one of these sweeter available styles is called just dry. But most of these Proseccos in the dry style stay in the Italian market. However, there is a hidden gem that doesn't fall into any of the above categories. A small quantity of wine by small producers is still being produced, or better, is being produced once again, in the Ancestral Method. Sometimes this can be referred to also as pet nat method. Rather than the sparkling bubbles being created in a tank like in the Charmat method, in the Ancestral method, a light fizz develops when the lees are kept inside the bottle, allowing the wine to continue to ferment. And this produces a distinctive Frizzante wine known locally as Prosecco col Fondo, or Prosecco on the lees. These wines are basically traditional method sparkling wines that have not been disgorged, leaving the yeasts and the lees still visible in the bottle. With so many wines and styles and characteristics, it took us a while to find a Prosecco that met the Vero standard. But now we have found two producers that make delicious Proseccos and other sparkling wines in the Valdobbiadene area. We here at Vero think that there's something special in small estate wineries that are led by winemakers driven by passion for their craft, and these two producers certainly fit that bill. One winery is Col del Bolt, led by brothers Fabio and Carlo Sanzovo, natives of Valdobbiadene, and they have some beautiful classic Prosecco Superiore. The other winery is that of winemaker Eros Zenon, who specializes in ancestral method wines, including the exceptionally rare Bosquera grape. But I get ahead of myself. We will do a deep dive about these two wineries in future videos, so subscribe to stay tuned. But in the meantime, if you just can't wait to taste a delicious small production Prosecco from Col del Bolt and Zenon, check out the links in the description below to visit verovino.com and buy some Prosecco. I'll see you with the next video.